In this video, I'm going to walk you through a beginner level full body workout here at Cowboy Fit in Plano, Texas. Give you a quick overview of the gym. You can do this in pretty much any commercial gym. Hoist all very high quality machines. Then we get the free weights over here. Lots of Olympic. A nice calisthenics area, so it really feels like a football field. You get kind of that football feel. Tough place to work out at if you're not a Cowboy fan. I like to do my warm-ups on this stair mill, if they have one, for 20 minutes at low intensity because it burns fat primarily as your fuel source. So I want to save all my glycogen for my workout and for my weightlifting where I really want to use it. And there's no place in my workouts for HIIT cardio. If I have energy for HIIT cardio, from a muscle building perspective, that energy is going to be better used for the weights. So yeah, we're going to attack this workout from the top down. Shoulders, arms, chest, back, glutes, hamstrings, quads. Finish off with some calves, and depending on how I feel, I might do some abs. Then going to finish off with 20 more minutes on the stair mill. All right, let's go. Starting off with the basics, side laterals. Grabbing some heavy dumbbells for these. You notice that I'm using a weight belt, and so you're going to want to press out with your abs against the weight belt. Use a little bit of momentum to get the weight up. Make sure you go down nice and strict, and so you're keeping the emphasis on the side deltoids. You're just using a little bit of help from your hamstrings and your glutes and even your lower back to get the weight up. Then we're moving on to face pulls. We're going to be attacking the rear deltoids. This is probably the single best shoulder developer that you can do in the gym. Most people do it wrong because they're using a short cable attachment. But if you have a long rope, or if you have two short ropes that you attach to the same pulley, you'll be able to get a better range of motion. Make sure you bring your elbows nice and high up towards your ears. You don't want to turn this into a row. When it starts getting heavy, that's the most common mistake, is people try to bring their elbows down and use their traps and their lats and all the bigger back muscles, but you're way better off doing rows for your back. Here we're focusing on that rear deltoid, which is located on the back of the shoulder. Next, we're going to go into an exercise that is a compound lift that really hits all three heads of the deltoids, with most emphasis on the front head of the deltoids. I love the way that this machine works too. This is just one of those fun machines to use because the entire thing moves. And this gym is decked out with a lot of hoist machines. You could basically hit every body part with these machines. This here is the seated tricep dip machine. If you want to hit triceps, you want to flip these to the inside. The closer grip emphasizes the triceps and takes more of the emphasis off of your chest. Should already have a little nice pump going in the triceps, so now we're really going to pump up the tricep with these seated dips. If you can do body weight dips and your gym has a pair of parallel bars, then great, go ahead and do those. Otherwise, this is a great machine for beginners. I see a lot of advanced athletes doing this too because you can get a better tricep isolation. We're doing standing dumbbell curls, alternating back and forth. Yes, you are correct in what you see. I'm wearing a weight belt. I can actually get an extra rep or two if I have something to push my abs up against. Maybe it's mental, but I just feel a lot stronger. Doing dumbbell curls alternating this way actually takes a bit of coordination. It takes a lot of focus. You're going to have one dumbbell raising while the other one is lowering. Another key here is to understand how the elbow joint works. The biceps flex the elbow and the triceps extend the elbow. So when you lift the dumbbell, you want to focus on pumping hard with your bicep and twisting your pinky inward to really get that peak contraction. And you'll notice that I'm actually flexing my triceps at the bottom of each rep. That will stretch out your biceps completely, and it'll make sure that your biceps are not only flexed at the top, but that your triceps are also stretched out all the way. Doing a couple poses in between sets just to keep that pump going. Check some progress.
I'm pretty sure you were pressing these over your head.
It's my flyweight, baby.
Get on there.
Get it.
Now on to dumbbell presses on an incline bench. We're going to be doing an incline press instead of a flat press because most athletes, most people are lacking upper chest muscles more so than lower pecs. Most people, not everybody, but most people have an easier time developing the lower pecs. So most of my chest work for aesthetics and what we teach is incline variation presses. After hitting some chest, we're going to hit some back. Notice that I'm rocking back quite a bit. And if you do it this way too, you'll notice that you actually get a much better back activation than if you use a painfully strict up and down motion. If you're staying straight up and down when you pull the bar down, you're going to be using a lot of biceps, a lot of forearms, and a lot of other muscles besides your back. There's two aspects to the back. There's width, which is what we're working on here. You're trying to make your back wider. And then there's thickness, which is going to be the next exercise, which is going to be a seated cable row. You want to think of this exercise as a row too. That helps to activate the back. Think of rowing the bar to your chest. The bar should touch your chest every single rep. Also notice that my hands are around the top and my fingers are on the same side as my thumbs. I'm not grabbing the bar with my thumbs because that causes you to strain too much and use too much forearms. Okay, now we have Michelle Ward. I was training her this same day too. She's getting ready for her first bikini competition. She's executing this with absolutely perfect form, rocking back just a little bit, not using too much momentum, but overloading the back with more weight than you could do with what I call painfully strict form. And speaking of painfully strict form, we will actually be using painfully strict form on the quad extensions. You're going to want to squeeze hard at the top. You don't really want to lock out all the way. That can kind of be hard on your knees. Make sure you go down all the way though, and you get a nice deep stretch. Going for about 15 to 20 reps here. Legs are a bigger muscle group, and so they're going to benefit from getting more reps in to get blood throughout the entire muscle. Same idea with the hamstrings. The most common mistake that you want to avoid when doing prone hamstring curls or lying hamstring curls is a lot of people will shoot their hips upward. So thinking about driving your hips into the machine while you're pulling up with your lower hamstrings is a way to prevent this from happening. And we're going to finish off with the leg press and with calves, both on the same machine. This is what I call the convenience superset. You're just going to put your feet in whatever is the most powerful position. I'm going down to about a 90-degree angle, so I'm really getting a good deep stretch in the glutes and in the hamstrings. It's working the quads too. It works basically everything. I'm leaning back as far as the machine will allow me to, just because that's how I feel like I get the most power and the deepest range of motion on this machine. But you're going to have to play around with the different settings on it and figure out how your body fits the machine best and make it work for you. Okay, now I'm keeping the same weight and I'm doing calf presses on the same machine. I mean, you're already on the leg press. You already got the perfect amount of weight on there. I find that if I get 15 to 20 reps for leg presses, right after that with the same amount of weight, I can usually get 15 to 20 reps of calves too. Make sure that you pull up with your tibia on the way down, driving your heels into the machine, and push up hard by flexing your calves. And we're saving abs for the end because they are definitely the least important of everything that we just did. We've already worked our abs from all the compound lifts that we were doing throughout this workout. And so if you have time for abs, great, do it. If not, at least you did the important stuff.
And I'm cooling down with 20 minutes of steady state cardio on the treadmill. If you have the energy for the stair mill, great, do 20 minutes in the stair mill. I'm kind of spent right now, especially after hitting some legs. And whenever I hit legs, I typically don't cool down on the stair mill. I'll cool down on this instead. This is when your body is in a prime fat burning state because of all those lifts that we just did with all the weights. It produces a lot of testosterone and growth hormone. They're gonna spare muscle and build muscle, and they're gonna encourage your body to burn fat. So those levels are at their peak right after you do weight training. So doing a good 10, 15 minutes, even 20 minutes of low intensity cardio like this is the best time to burn fat. You don't want to be going so fast that you can't carry on a conversation, but you should be pushing yourself hard enough so that if you're having like a phone conversation, you should be huffing and puffing. The sweet spot for me on the treadmill, whenever I step on the treadmill, it's always a 15-degree incline and 2.8 miles per hour. Any faster than that is just too fast for this old man. And any less than that, I just don't feel like I'm accomplishing anything. Also, this is a lot better than running. Running for long periods of time can be very catabolic to muscle tissue. This is no disrespect to marathon runners at all. I respect what they do, but I want to look like a bodybuilder. I don't want to look like I run marathons. So for that reason, my cardio, I'm always thinking about sparing muscle and burning fat. It's the whole reason that I'm in here. It's the whole reason most people come to the gym too. So there's performance and then there's aesthetics. With aesthetics, low intensity cardio, 20 minutes, any more than that, it starts producing too many hormones that are going to be just counterproductive at that point. You start getting stressed out, it starts producing ghrelin, so you're going to find yourself wanting to binge eat late at night. You're going to produce a lot of cortisol. It's going to make it hard to sleep. It's just going to make you stressed out. It just doesn't feel good. Rule of thumb, if you feel good and you feel like you can keep going, maybe go another 5-10 minutes. But if you go 5 or 10 minutes and you're spent, stop, because you're probably just burning out muscle at that point, and it's your body's way of telling you that you should be done. So that's your post-workout cardio.